What is happening? Hope everyone is doing well. We have a Starbucks Grande Blonde Latte. So I want to chat about automate, delegate, remove. Today, I want to chat about mindset. Today, I want to chat about becoming a lifelong learner. Today, we are talking about sales processes. So we're going to title these live sessions, Coffee with Cody. Hello and good day. Hope you're having a wonderful day out there. Thanks for tuning in another episode of Coffee with Cody. I'm stocked up with my coffee this morning, and today I'm excited to chat about defining moments. This is something that was really, really interesting. I'm going to really hop right into this. Something really interesting. I was having a conversation with my business partner yesterday about defining moments, and I want to talk about the insight and just kind of the thought that went through my head yesterday as I was having this conversation with Neil. And when I was 18 years old, even let's back up even further that when I was like 15, 16, 17, when I was in high school, I was kind of an introvert. For people that went to school with me, know that I didn't really do a whole lot. I didn't go to a whole lot of parties. I was just kind of introverted. I had my thing. I played music. I was in bands, and that was just kind of my thing. It wasn't until I got my first sales job, and as I look back at my very first opportunity in sales, I got a job at a company called Future Shop right out of high school, and it really helped push me out of my box that I had created, because I couldn't find myself at that time. And I think that this is natural. Like in high school, people are like, we're always trying to find ourselves, I guess you could say, in high school. And I had a really defining moment when I was 18 where I really found myself in this sales job. And I really, and I think about how everything in life is a defining moment. Like every key thing that has happened because of people. Like, it's often times when people give you opportunity, you see that as a defining moment. It's so interesting. I was having this conversation with Neil, and we were just chatting about different defining moments. And I remember thinking back to this defining moment of being an 18-year-old kid selling for the first time, making money, seeing that, opportunities were endless. It really opened me up to, become like, it opened me up to come out of my shell. And I don't know about you. Have you ever had like a defining moment where something has changed drastically for you? Like for me, I chat a lot about that defining moment of going to San Diego last year in February that, really helped me understand confidence and just believing in my ability to figure things out. And I got connected with Brendan. But there's been so many defining moments that make us who we are. And my encouragement that I want to give you today is just to really reflect. And that's really what me and Neil did the other day. We were just like reflecting on everything that has happened over the last 3.5 years. Like for those that don't know, I met Neil 5-6 years ago in a coffee shop in Peterborough that I had no idea that meeting would be a defining moment in my career. Like literally, we were pitching him on something. I was working at a company called Best Buy. We were talking to him. We were pitching on working with him. He was pitching us on working with us. We're talking about everything that we were doing in the community. And he said to me, literally, just a simple phrase saying, he literally said to me in that moment, in that coffee shop, you really have the traits of an entrepreneur. Have you ever thought about being, starting your own business? And I remember that conversation so vividly. And it was a simple thing that this person said that clicked with me, that made me understand that, and there was other defining moments leading up to that. Like, my friend Bob Glovero giving me an opportunity to run his ad for the first time, getting connected with Nora, and then us starting Studio PTPO. It's like, think about all the amazing defining moments that have really shaped your life, like the opportunities that people have given you, and just have gratitude for them. And I have so much gratitude as I look back at key moments that have shaped my life. When I was that 18-year-old kid, I was given an opportunity in a sales job. I had no sales experience, and that would change the direction of my life because I took the opportunity that was given before me, and I made something with it. It's like, I just encourage you to reflect on these defining moments, because when you look back and you reflect, you see how far you've come. And when you see how far you've come, you realize that how much momentum you've created for yourself. And it's oftentimes as people that are high performers and wanting to consistently push themselves forward, it's oftentimes hard to stay satisfied. And I find through reflection, thinking about defining moments, I put myself in a state where I strive satisfied, where I look back at these defining moments and I'm like, oh my God, that person I was 10 years ago or that person I was a year ago, it's totally different than the person I am today because I put in the work. And when I say put in the work, I'm not saying that I'm busting my ass 14 hours a day. I'm trying to become a better version of myself, whether that be through reading more, whether that is through investing more back into courses, whether that is just allowing myself the ability to ask more questions. It's in the defining moments. It's in the key moments where we have opportunity or something, radically shifts in our lives that we reflect and we realize that we are actually in momentum. I would encourage you today to really believe that you probably are in momentum, even though that you feel like you're not in momentum, because just based on the things that you've done and the actions that you've taken over the last little while in your life. And if you look at the person you were last year to the person you are today, can you see any sort of momentum? You probably can. You just maybe you haven't taken the time to reflect on those defining moments. There's been so many defining moments. Like, we're writing a book right now, and it's beyond my wildest dreams. It's due to come out due to come out probably in spring. And we're trying to get it finished. But I remember that was another defining moment. I was an 18-year-old kid at a conference in Chicago, and I was journaling at this conference, and I said to myself, I'm going to write a book someday. And it just sat in the back of my head over the last 10 years. And every once in a while I would come back to that idea that, hey, I'm gonna write a book someday. And we're here. And that's the encouragement I want to give you, is like, just think back to these moments where these pivotal things have changed in your life that have made you a better person. Like, you're probably in momentum. You just realize you're not in momentum because you're not taking enough time to actually reflect on the fact that you're in momentum. And that's something that often happens for me, is like, man, I can't even, because we're so focused on the day to day, and it's like this task and this task and this task, we don't take time to reflect. And I'm so guilty of that sometimes, where I just don't take time to reflect. And then I sit back and I reflect. I'm like, holy shit, like, this 10 years has gone by and I'm a totally different person. Because of defining moments, because taking opportunity, pivotal moments in your life, think back to them. That's the encouragement I want to give you today. Think back to the pivotal moments, the defining moments in your life. I was having a conversation, if you're just hopping on the live now, I was having a conversation with Neil about these key defining moments that have got us to where we are today. And it's just, it's crazy. Think back to when you were 18, think back to you when you were 23, think back to when you were 35, wherever you are in life, and just reflect, because you're in momentum. You just don't realize you are. And that's the encouragement I want to give you today. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Coffee with Cody. That's my encouragement. If you listen or subscribe on iTunes or Spotify, I appreciate that. Go leave a review. Got any value out of this today? If you think that you know somebody who would find this episode of value, share with them. Tag them in the comment section below. Share the podcast with them. I'm just on a mission to help passionate and energetic entrepreneurs with marketing and mindset knowledge, help them build, grow, and scale online. And I think that oftentimes a lot of this happens just through reflection and understanding that you are in momentum. You just need to reflect more. Have a great day. Chat with you soon.